As always, I want to begin by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rahaha Kodash, and double honors as always to the apostles, the elders, the bishops, the leadership, the men of great millstone. Peace and salutations to the house of David, to the 144,000 men scattered throughout the four corners teaching this word, and to the hopeful elect out there of the men, women, and children, I want to say shalom. Wiser, it says, teach a just man, and he will increase in learning. And all of this and any of this cannot, will not, is no way possible can be made to happen without the fear of Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the holy is understanding. You know, and the scriptures tells us that in the last days there'll be many false prophets. And let's get that. We'll stay on this page. We're going to go to Matthew. Sometimes these things are getting on your nerves, boy. Matthew 24:11. And it reads, and many false prophets shall arise and shall deceive many. And this deception in many regards, hey, again, because even my page title is, itching ears, and our people have had those itching ears for generations. So their deception is brought about by their own lust, But nevertheless, these false prophets, they're there to play a role. It says, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. And we're seeing that more and more with the actions of the people. Wickedness is increasing. People are no longer even, they're not even faking that love. Now they're just straight out, just, evil towards one amongst and towards one another. It says, but he that shall endure till the end, the same shall be saved. And this is one of the ones, but this isn't really what I wanted. I was looking for something, Salakia, forgive me for a moment. Okay, yeah, that's a good one. And there's many, and I may not find the what I want, but these, because many of these, especially of the circumcision, those that profess to be Israel, are more and more popping up. It says 2 Peter 2:1, but there were false prophets also among the people, even as there shall be false teachers among you, who privily shall bring in damnable heresies. The Gentiles will receive salvation, even denying the Lord that brought them, and bring upon themselves swift destruction. And this is why, the apostle, they anticipate that, these evils are going to come upon these men, because what they're doing, they know better. Even under their banner of Sakari, they knew better. But yet now they wish to push. They're trying to build up those coffers, so to speak, trying to get that paperwork in order in Esau's kingdom. And it's pointless really to get anything together here except your daily bread, because all of this is in the midst of a collapse. In order to bring about, and they know about the MOTB, they're fully aware of it. So why they would pretend to act as though they don't understand or they don't know about this is mind-boggling. But again, like I said, I wasn't going to make this a long lesson. So I want to I'm not going to, because there's no way I'm going to sit through 3 hours of their video. It's just nonsense and foolishness and a waste of time, an absolute waste of time. But I was listening to the I believe it was out of Vegas, and he came in at the point where they were going into Zechariah 2:11, and they were using this to justify their heresy. And just on a regular note, no one on the shores of Babylon is going to make it off of these shores. There'll be no one in the chariots outside of the elect of the house of Israel. That's the only ones that are going to be taken up to behold the lake of fire. All the rest will be in that lake of fire. And we know that the whole world is not going to be destroyed. And we also know that the progenitors of all of these nations that live in America come from Europe, come from Japan, come from China, come from India, come from all of these other nations. Therefore, when these people that are from America are born back, come back into the kingdom, not from salvation that they received upon being upon these shores, but to being born back into slavery through those of their people who survive the coming destructions. So let's get right to it. Like I said, this is not going to be quick. This is Zechariah 2:11, and it reads, "And many nations shall be joined unto the Lord in that day, and shall be my people, and I will dwell in the midst of thee." And you gotta act, man. Definitely the context. And let's jump real quick over here. These man, and it's definitely a money grab. Either they got the bag and now they have to serve out their purpose, or they're looking to get the bag, and this is the that was given to them to bring this type of to generate that amount, that income. And it says, this is Jeremiah 32 and 36, and it reads, "And now therefore, thus saith Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, power of Israel, concerning this city, whereof ye say, it shall be delivered into the hand of the king of Babylon by the sword, and by the famine, and by the pestilence. Behold, I will gather them out of all countries, whether I have driven them in mine anger, and in my fury, and in great wrath, and I will bring them again into this place, and I will cause them to dwell safely, and they shall be my people, and I will be their power." And many nations shall be joined to the Lord in that day, and shall be my people. He's not talking about these other nations. "And I will dwell in the midst of thee, and thou shalt know that the Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai of hosts hath sent me unto thee." So again, and many nations shall be joined to Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai in that day. So we just read here, "And I will gather them out of all the countries whither I have driven them in mine anger, and they shall be my people." So let's go over here to Genesis, and this is Genesis 35, and we'll start at 10 and 9, and it reads, "And the Most High appeared unto Jacob again. Then he came out of Padanaram and blessed him. And the Most High said unto him, Thy name is Jacob. Thy name shall not be called any more Jacob, but Israel shall be thy name. And he called his name Israel, Yasharallah." Verse 11, "And the Most High said unto him, I am power almighty. Be fruitful and multiply." Wait for it. "A nation and a company of nations shall be of thee, and kings shall come out of thy loins." And many nations. What does it say? A nation and a company of nations. Let's see. Let's see. Let's start here. Oh no, I want to go here. Salakia. Fruitful, a nation and a company. Nation and a company of nations. You will become a great nation, even many nations. A nation and a community of nations. A nation and a company of nations. A nation, indeed, an assembly of nations. A nation and a multitude of nations. I mean, it doesn't, how you twist that, because what you've learned, you already have learned. So you take something and you go into it and you twist it to suit a new purpose. How do you do that? How do you formulate that? Let me see real quick. I just want to see what this is saying. So yeah, I was looking for one more thing, but nevertheless, all throughout Scripture, Israel are those nations. Each tribe had its own dwelling place. There was a reason why, inheritance was set up the way it was, so that each tribe would maintain its own inheritance. So tribes marrying amongst each other, there had to be certain things that were done to ensure that the inheritance stayed with that tribe, with that particular nation of the nations of Israel. You know, it's uncanny how these people attempt to, just make it say what they want it to. And I ask AI, this is an AI overview, and it says these are the results for Israel being called many nations in the Bible. And it reads, yes, Israel is referred to as many nations in the Bible, often in a prophetic context. But we know that, man, each tribe is a nation in and of itself. It says this refers to either the descendants of Israel becoming a large and diverse people, a community of nations, and a nation of nations. And let's see, let's look that up. Let's see here. Let's see what Google said. A nation of nations. I'm just going to get the. A nation of nations is a community of people with a shared identity, often based in common language, culture, history, or ethnicity, and can exist independently of a state. A state is a political entity with formal institutions, laws, and a defined territory and government. While the terms are often used interchangeably in everyday language, a nation state is the ideal of a sovereign state that contains a single homogeneous nation, which is rarely achieved in reality. And that reality is going to come into fruition under Yahweh Shai at his return, when the nation and the company of nations is going to come back together to be that nation state. This is you know, because man, this is Revelations 21 and 11, 10. And he carried me away in the spirit to a great and high mountain and showed me that great city, the holy Jerusalem, Yerushalayim, descending out of heaven from the Most High, having the glory of the Most High, and her light was like unto a stone most precious, even like a jasper stone, clear as crystal, and had a wall great and high, and had 12 gates, and at the 12 gates, and names written thereon, which are the names of the 12 tribes, the 12 nations of the nation of Israel, of the children of Israel. Because although we split and you have the northern and the southern kingdom, and then the northern kingdom kept the name Israel, and we had to take upon the name Judah. It's all Israel. Judah is a tribe of Israel. So is Benjamin. So is Levi. So is Gad, Manasseh, Ephraim, Zebulun, Naphtali, so on and so forth. All these are of the house and nation of nations. So, like I said, I wasn't going to make this a long lesson. I just wanted to put my you know, 2 cents. Man, push the plow. You know, this is Ecclesiastes 12 and 13, and it reads, "Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Most High," and you know, man, only He can give you that fear, that reverence, and pray that that's the fear that you obtain, because you're going to fear Him one way or another. One way or another, you're going to either be in terror or you're going to be in fear. Pray that it's the fear of the Lord that you are granted, and keep His commandments. For this is the whole duty of man. For the Most High shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. So with that, I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rahaha Chodash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, bishops, leadership of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the house of David, to the 144,000, and to the men, women, and children scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, of the hopeful elect. To you I say Shalom.